Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. So you see the title of the video. The other day came across this clip with Jamal Mashburn on the Redick podcast, and he was dropping some gems about Michael Jordan that I thought was really great. So before we get into it, let's check out the first part of this clip here.
I had the fortune to play against Michael Jordan in his last All-Star game when he was a Wizard. And Mariah Carey sang and all these different things. She was wearing a Wizard's dress and everything like that. But I got a chance to spend time with Michael Jordan, and we played one-on-one. You know how you're before the layup line and different things like that. And I always knew Michael Jordan was great. But when I chatted with him and he was able to break down my game analytically, Jamal, you like to go left 80% of the time, pull up with the right hand and different things like that. But then he gave me a solution. Go right 2 or 3 times in the game, and then gave me a story. He said, Dr. J and Larry Bird passed something down to me to play the game within the game. And I said, well, what are you referencing? He was like, well, in the game, sometimes I'm not just going to score, it's how I'm going to score. So Jamal, if you go right 2 or 3 times in the game and you make a pull-up jump shot or right hand layup or whatever it is, you're balancing out your game. You're keeping the defense off balance. And this man went through every All-Star and chatted about what their strengths and weaknesses off the top of his head. And I sat there and I was like, I thought I knew a lot about basketball, but he's on a different level from how he looks at it, scouts it, observes it, implements it. And that, I want to say probably 6 or 7 games after the All-Star break, I implemented that, scored 50 on the Memphis Grizzlies just by turning the other way. And he was like, and when we saw him again playing the Wizards, and I think he had 40 or something, and I had 39. And he was like, damn, I gave you some stuff to think about and you implemented. I was like, yeah, I really appreciate it. But just his insight and knowledge of the game, I see LeBron in that same regard of being able to pass along information and being a student of it, but also being able to communicate it, teach it to others, and just not preach it, if that makes sense. So Michael Jordan to me is always going to be one of my favorites.
That's a phenomenal story.
So this is actually, I played this part first because I wanted to talk about this part first, but he actually says this second in the clip. But he talks about playing in the All-Star game, the last All-Star game that Michael Jordan played in, and playing one-on-one with Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan dropping some gems on him that not only broke down his game, but like he said, also gave him solutions to how to fix his game. And then you heard Jamal Mashburn say that like 6 games after the All-Star break, he wound up scoring 50 on the team. And, if you follow a lot of the players, especially a lot of players from around that time, you've heard different players talk about the gems that Michael Jordan has broken down to them. Carmelo Anthony is another one that comes to mind. Of course, we don't have to say Kobe Bryant. We all know that. But so not only did Jamal Mashburn say that Jordan gave him, gems about his game, but he said then Jordan proceeds to go down the line and talk about every other All-Star weaknesses and patterns in their game. And this, to me, is the thing that, again, Michael Jordan does not get credit for, is the mental side of the game. I mean, he gets credit for the mental as far as mentality and killer mentality, but just the high IQ, having true basketball smarts, really studying each player, But I think that kind of goes back to that killer mentality, right? Because it's like he wants the advantage in every single way possible. Like he wants the advantage mentally. He wants the advantage by knowing what you're going to do. He knows how you play. So this is why, when we're comparing Michael Jordan to LeBron James, and they always talk about LeBron James' high IQ, but I will say this. Whenever you hear people talk about LeBron's high IQ, a lot of times they're talking about from a coaching strategy standpoint. I feel like saw a clip with Iman Shumpert talking about, LeBron knows all the coaches' plays from the other team. But again, to me, LeBron James, if you just watch him play, he does not have good instincts for basketball. He doesn't have good instincts for basketball. And while he made no coaches' plays and all that, I'm not sure if he could go down the line of players and tell you their strengths and weaknesses. Well, number one, I'm sure he can't, because LeBron James has too many weaknesses to be able to identify what someone else's weaknesses are. But again, to me, like I thought this was a great story. And like I said, Carmelo Anthony, he's told similar stories where, going to Mike and, playing one-on-one, but he said it wouldn't be playing one-on-one to determine a winner. He said, it was Mike using it as a teaching tool. He said Mike would do stuff like, okay, you got one dribble to score. Okay, you got two dribbles to score. You got three dribbles to score. But it was really building that, helping these players build that arsenal, helping these players really work on that surgicalness that Michael Jordan had, that ability. And when we watch Michael Jordan play, we can all attest to this. Michael Jordan didn't have a lot of wasted movements. So, he was all about that 1, 2, 3 dribbles, and whatever you're going to do should be done. Now, so let me play this second clip, and then we'll talk about it a bit.
That I played against the first Dream Team with myself, Grant Hill, Chris Webber. I think that Dream Team and Michael Jordan being a focal point of that really globalized and mushroomed what the popularity of the NBA is, because it now is a global thing and people were responding to it more. Even to the point where years later, I want to say it's probably about 15 years ago, I went over to China in Beijing. I was in Beijing, Shanghai, and I had people coming up to me on the street. Hey, you're Jamal Mashburn. I was like, I haven't played and I'm retired. They're like, no, you have to recall that when we got NBA games during that Michael Jordan era, we just didn't follow Michael Jordan. We followed everybody else around Michael Jordan that competed against him and also with him. So you became popular just as well. So,
okay, like I said, so this second part he actually was talking about first, but I wanted to talk about it second. So I just thought it was really great, because we always talk about how Michael Jordan's influence, is second to none, how the popularity of Michael Jordan is second to none. There have been plenty of viewers on this channel who have told stories about being overseas and how the popularity of Michael Jordan just superseded everything. And there's plenty of viewers who actually are from overseas, who lived overseas, who told their stories about Michael Jordan and how, in China, seeing people and kids and babies with Michael Jordan jerseys on. So I thought this story from Jamal Mashburn basically saying that, the popularity of Michael Jordan made everyone else popular. I mean, you got to think about that kind of popularity. Someone so popular that you being associated with them makes you popular. That's a different kind of popularity. And so, yeah, Jamal Mashburn was saying that, hey, I got over there and people recognized me, and he seemed like kind of confused that he was being recognized. And then the person told him, hey, when we followed Michael Jordan, we followed everyone he played against. We followed everyone he played against. Yeah, so I just thought that was a great story that shows you the popularity of Michael Jordan. Like I said, when you're so popular that people associate it with you, become popular. You know, because I feel like a lot of people probably have in their mind that Michael Jordan was like the only popular player overseas. But this goes back to what we talk about in the 90s, that Michael Jordan made the game of basketball popular. In the 90s, basketball was part of the culture. Like it was literally a part of the culture. You know, it was probably in everyone's lives to some degree or another. You know, like I said, everyone was playing basketball, and we've had many people on this channel attest to this fact that in the 90s, there were no empty courts in your city. Like I said, in the 90s, if I wanted to go play basketball, it wasn't a matter if I could find a game. It was just a matter of where I wanted to play. What court did I want to go to? Did I want to go run some inside games, or did I want to go to an outside court? But there were games going anywhere that there was a court. But like I said, if I want to go play basketball now, it's like I drive past the same courts that I used to play at in the 90s, you know, in early 2000s, and these courts are completely empty. Like, that blows my mind. But to me, that shows you that, again, LeBron James hadn't had that kind of impact. LeBron James hadn't wowed the world enough to make everyone want to play basketball. Because you can say whatever for the people who are my age. Yeah, you know, we're all past our primes. But why isn't the courts full of young kids? You know, we were teenagers back then hooping. Why isn't the courts full of teenagers playing basketball? And so, like I said, when I want to play ball now, I have to search out the game. I have to find out, you know, may have to organize a game. You know, so it is just not the same. And LeBron James is nowhere near that kind of impact, even though the game is already global. So it's like LeBron James has had a head start with this stuff. The game is already global. So to me, that just shows you, again, the power of Michael Jordan, the popularity of Michael Jordan, and that his game was so unbelievable that, like we've said many times, it got non-basketball fans to watch. If you were in the 90s, basketball was part of the culture, whether you're talking about so many of the great basketball movies. I mean, there are so many great basketball movies in the 90s, whether you're talking about the sitcoms on TV, where somehow they would find a way to incorporate basketball into those sitcoms, whether you're talking about the music. Like I said, and like I said, you know, back during that days, like, jerseys were part of the culture. Wearing basketball jerseys, everybody wore them. That was like part of the culture. So yeah, well, we gonna hold up here. But like I said, I just love that clip with Jamal Mashburn. I'm a fan of Jamal Mashburn. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought about this clip, or these clips, and what Jamal Mashburn had to say about Jordan being able to break down everyone's game and what was wrong with their game and deficiencies and whatnot, and what he had to say about the fact that Michael Jordan made everybody popular because people overseas not only followed Michael Jordan, but they wanted to follow anyone he played against. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.